Good evening and welcome to Jocks TV, ahead of our third instalment of A Moment in Time. I'm joined by Hugh Lyons to discuss a little bit of feedback on last week's superstar, Martin Morgan, and we look ahead to our third instalment with a very well-known parochial figure. A little bit more modern, I suppose, maybe bringing it forward an era, Hugh. Would that be a fair statement for who we're going to go with this week?
Yeah, I suppose we've had to what we call stalwarts. We're kind of going jocks through the ages here, like the Father Ted episode, maybe going through the ages. We're on to more modern guy. You know, definitely takes on the baton probably in the right the way through. Then into the noughties. I suppose how I describe more how probably in our chats amongst the group would be he's a bit of a cult hero. Would that be a fair enough assessment for that?
Would be very fair assessment. Come the end of his career, he kind of seen himself maybe in a bit of a Spice Boy era. You know, always well dressed on the nights out, and thought he looked well and maybe enjoyed himself. But no, it'd be brilliant to have him on. And just dipping back briefly to last week's, we got some great success there in last week's with our first superstar, Martin Morgan. Really enjoyed it. You could see maybe he was a little bit Martin's a quiet man. He was a little bit worried about coming on, but I think once he got into the mindset of it, he absolutely, you could see his passion for the club.
Oh yeah, very, very clear. I was talking to him after. He was delighted how it went, and he said he really, really enjoyed it. And like that, he would have been really, really nervous. He said, and that was one thing I suppose. You remember in the conversation last week, he was saying he didn't get nervous before matches, but he said he was really nervous before our chat last week. But yeah, look, came across very, very well. I suppose it was great to get the first big exclusive for Jocks TV as well. But yeah, look, I think with Martin, you know, he's been there, he's done that. It was great to dip into the Loud careers and talking about, particularly for the younger viewers, that infamous scrap, which I'm sure got a few more YouTube hits after our chat last week. So yeah, no, it was very, very good. What about yourself, Brad? Did you get any other feedback or?
No, just the gentleman that Martin is. He tried to cover every base, and again, he was kind of afraid to leave someone out. But like, we're having these people on to hear their own interesting stories, and likewise with the man that's coming up this week, we'd be very keen to hear his upbringing, slightly different angle, slightly more modern. Through his career, maybe not winning as many trophies with the Martins as he would have liked, as we all would have liked, I suppose, but still great to hear. And then obviously when he hung up the boots, he still has had a massive part to play. And when we're finished this one, that'll be our third installment of A Moment in Time, and we're going to try and go right back then over the next couple of weeks. And if there is anyone who would have some information, who would like to sit down, it wouldn't have to be a long interview, 10-15 minutes. If we had anyone who had some history lesson for us on the formation of the club in 1957, I think it'd be really good. If you're interested, get in touch with any of ourselves or any of the committee members. So that's kind of something we're going to look into in the next couple of weeks. Hugh.
Yeah, we have a couple of things lined up there, as you say, right before, even pre the founding of the club, which is great. And I suppose in terms of leaving a legacy with Jocks TV, I think that'll be very important, and hopefully, you know, not necessarily that'll be appreciated now, but in the years to come, it'd be great to have a record of talking to these people that are involved in the establishment of what we now know of the name Martin. But I suppose in our little bit of research, we kind of got a few interesting things that we weren't aware of, so it'd be great to with the public as well, you know.
Absolutely, and just one piece of information we picked up, and there's a date coming up. I think next month, the middle of next month, would mark the 125th anniversary of the first ever recorded game of Monastir Boyce, it was Monastir Boyce versus Tenure. So it was really interesting to hear archive records come back that far. So that's the type of people, that's the type of information we have, and we need to share that with people from Naomh Martin and further afield.
Yeah, exactly, Fra. And I suppose on that as well, going forward, we can hear some suggestions of potential future guests. We were kind of dipping, I suppose, our toes in the water to see how these episodes have gone down. So there seems to be really good appetite for more. So again, don't hesitate to get in contact with any of us or with the club via social media or any of the committee members, and we'll only be delighted for some extra suggestions.
Absolutely, and we just heard today, hopefully by the end of April, there'll be a return to play for the minors and under, return to getting back out there onto the field, getting some training. So as we said, the membership is up for renewal at the moment. If you can get it through, again, support that club lotto. And if there's any sponsors, let's fingers crossed. We definitely do have a month of summer football, a month of activities going on up in Naomh Martin and further afield. So tune in for our episode 3 of A Moment in Time coming up later on in the week. Thank you.